from an overcast Newcastle Motorsports Park. My name's Xander Clements, live on the Kart Chaser broadcast. Up in the booth with me here is Connor Zillage. KA Stars Group B, heat number 2, getting set to get underway after lightning struck the racetrack and severe thunder and lightning storms came through yesterday afternoon, interrupted our afternoon of racing, Connor. We tried everything we could. We hung out here for about 2 hours until finally called the action around 5 p.m. Eastern time. And so now today's format, packed tightly. We lose a little bit of our lunch break, but we're getting all the racing in.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting day to say the least yesterday with the weather and everything going on, but I'm glad that we got to start a little earlier today.
So for KA Stars Group B, again, the grid here. Danny Dzelski qualifying on the pole, or on the front row overall. We're going to start to lead this one from the pole. Connor Ferris, Heat 1 race winner, will line up alongside him on row number 1. Keegan Bosch and Tyler Wettengel, last year's champion, and last year's runner-up, vice champion, I believe, will line up on row number 2. Row 3 will be Adam Maxwell and Ben Lyda. Row 4, Anthony DeCesaro and Zach Della. Gavin Griffin and Logan Mueller will round off your top 10. Then it's Nikita Panaris, Oscar Pinozo, Aiden Hatcher, Brayden Johnson, Nikolai Dukov, your top 15 for 27 starters. Getting set to go green here for KA Stars. Group B headed down the front straightaway towards the I-70 corner, and we're underway here. Lights out. We're green down to the first turn. Dzelski with a good jump off the line. He'll lead them coming out. We've got one way wide. That's Logan Mueller, and one more turned around. Brooke Nachtman goes around, and there's 2 more collected. Ian Quinn is around in the grass as well.
Yeah, that was an interesting start. Brooke Nachtman got spun around, and she's still struggling to get going along with a few others, but no front runners look to be involved as we head through the red 171 corner and into green corner. Danny Dzelski still leading as he goes to the inside to protect his line. Going through the kink here. Still no changes in the top 3 as we all single file go towards the cell tower.
So your top 3 as they run. Dzelski the leader. Bosch in second. Third on the racetrack is Adam Maxwell as Bosch goes to the outside on Dzelski, tries to cross him up a little, puts himself in an awkward position, and Maxwell takes advantage. He goes to second. Wettengel looks for third. Can't pull it off. Now he's got to worry about Connor Ferris looking to come for fourth. Here they come into the right hand and then left hand 90-degree section, back and forth. The final sector on the racetrack going backwards. You can see Maxwell glued to the rear bumper of Danny Dzelski as they come to complete lap number 1. Ferris dropping a wheel a little bit there through the section. He'll lose some momentum. Oh, we got a big crash here on the final straight coming into the last 2 corners. I believe one driver was nearly ejected from the go-kart, got a number of cars collected.
Yeah. I think I can't really see what number that is from here, but one of them completely came out of the go-kart, as we see 3 carts right here, spun around and not going anywhere, stuck in the grass. Yeah. One driver taking his helmet off. As we head through the 171 corner, though, the leaders still Danny Dzelski and Adam Maxwell, P1 and 2. Looks like we have that's Connor Ferris in third and Keegan Bosch in fourth as we go through the kink and towards cell tower. The 2 leaders staying in line, working together. We've seen a lot of that this weekend. The top 2 drivers starting to work together to try and pull away from the rest of the field, but I don't think Connor Ferris is going to give this one up easily. And
look at that. There was a little fight back behind them there. I believe that was probably Gavin Bailiff or Nikita Panaris actually might have been the one going by for 5th, working down the inside on Tyler Wettengel. As you can see, Danny Dzelski in the Trinity Kart and Group Kart Republic looking pretty calm and collected through the final few corners. Maxwell, like Connor said, isn't pushing on him, but Connor Ferris was really quick yesterday. He's quick again here this morning, 2/10 better than the leaders with them working together, so he'll arrive on the scene sooner rather than later. As we see Wettengel going back down the inside for 5th. That is indeed on Nikita Panaris as we see a little bobble further back. That's the Chesro dropping a wheel. So lots of shuffling here beyond your top 4. We'll keep a close tab on the ticker to see when Connor Ferris will arrive. In the meantime, here's the battle for 5th. It is Wettengel over Panaris, getting back by then Gavin Griffin. DeCesaro, Nikolai Dukov, Ethan O-Ring is your top 10 as they head to the green corner.
Yeah, good start so far for some of the guys in around the 5th to 10th area. Gavin Griffin made his way up from the back. So did Ethan O-Ring. Started in the 10th row and is now up to 10th position. So that's almost double the spots where he started from. So good start for him. Still single file at the front, though. Connor Ferris has caught up to the leaders as we're watching the battle for 5th. It looks like Tyler Wettengel starting to pull away from Nikita Panaris. And they're all stretching
pass
out.
for the lead right there. Adam Maxwell able to get by on the grid corner. And so Adam Maxwell to the point. He looked back, saw Ferris was coming in the short chute, and pulled the trigger to go through to the point. Now Connor Ferris, a run of his own, looking inside on Dzelski. He'll take second away into turn number 1. And Adam Maxwell continues to show the way as they'll head into the Monza this time. Keegan Bosch still lagging back a little bit. Tyler Wettengel starting to hit his stride. He went purple last time by, a 1:13.971. So still with all the rain from yesterday, it seems like it's taken this track a while to grip back up to where we were by Friday afternoon and even a little bit Saturday morning.
Yeah, we were around a low 112 for qualifying yesterday, so we're still about 2 seconds off the pace of where we were. So this track's still got some time left to gain as we go throughout the day. There'll definitely be grip getting put down to the surface, and our times will continue to get faster as we go throughout the day. So still, though, the leaders, 1, 2, 3, looks like Adam Maxwell, Connor Ferris, and Danny Dzelski with Keegan Bosch and Tyler Wettengel slowly catching them. As we head through the scale corner here, no changes in position. Adam Maxwell still leading with Connor Ferris closely behind. I'm sure Connor Ferris is going to want to get to the lead here soon, as he has been really fast this race so far and wants to try and get away from Danny Dzelski.
Yeah, Maxwell showing a good bit of pace that lap. I mean, we're seeing, all of them dropping their lap times here, sometimes as much as 3 or 4 tenths a lap over the course of this first half of the heat race, Connor. I mean, they are consistently finding a lot more pace. It's not a full rain race, but it's very similar with such a drying and slowly gripping up racetrack. And it's going to quickly get to a certain point where that's not going to happen. But right now, as Ferris goes for the lead, the track temps were obviously cooler this morning. The air temperature about 20 degrees cooler than what we've seen all weekend as they battle back for second. Dzelski not able to get by. Maxwell able to retake the lead. And look at that, Keegan Bosch gets through for third. So he's able to get by on Dzelski here, and Maxwell starting to defend because we're getting not fully maybe to that point yet in the race, but we're getting close to the end here. About 2 minutes left and then 2 laps added on here. Again, 8 minutes plus 2 laps for the heat race distance. Kudos to the Stars team as well. They started today 30 minutes earlier, cut about 15 minutes to 30 minutes out of the lunch break, and they're able to get all the heat races they were set to have yesterday that they didn't get added into Sunday's format and still end right around 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, definitely impressive from them. As we see the leaders here, we got about a train of 6 carts or 7 carts as Connor Ferris goes to the inside down into turn 1. He's going to clear out of Maxwell going through the kink and I-70. We got 4 or 5 stacked up here. It's going to be a good race coming to the end here with about 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go in this race. As we see the 981 has the meatball flag. Not sure who that is, but they're going to have to come into the pits as we see a battle for second here. Keegan Bosch is getting impatient, and he goes to the inside. Adam Maxwell is going to do the same thing he did last lap and cross him over. Keegan Bosch hangs a tire in the dirt, and now Danny Dzelski is trying to make a move. Keegan Bosch is so anxious to get up into that second position, though. He tries right back after the next corner to try and get back by Adam Maxwell, as he does not want to let Connor Ferris get away. And he goes for it again, and he actually makes it stick this time, and Adam Maxwell is going to have to give that position up to Keegan Bosch.
Yep, and Dzelski pits put on the outside, so Wettengel gets through for 4th. Looking on there at the end of the line is Nikita Panaris. He's latched onto this group to make it a 6-car party, but it's kind of a repeat of what we saw in heat number 1. Connor's Ferris was able to get away and really just allow them to fight for second. He's on the verge of breaking the toe once again, this time by. Just about 30 seconds plus 2 laps to go. Here they come on the front stretch. Maxwell will at least give Bosch the opportunity to run him down. He's going to push him to turn number 1. We'll see if Keegan Bosch in the Race Factory Delta Sport entry can try and reel in the Team Ferris Racing Kart Republic of Connor Ferris. Last time by, Ferris, a 1:13.269. I don't think anyone's even within 2 or 3 tenths of that lap time, so he could be long gone, and I think Maxwell, knowing it, went by Bosch. Bosch back by on Maxwell, and here we go again. They're just going to all fight for second and third as they go door to door, and Dzelski gets pushed into the grass a little bit with Wettengel.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Keegan Bosch finally started to give himself some space as Connor Ferris is just driving off into the sunset. Well, it's overcast, but he is driving away from them for sure, as Keegan Bosch is trying to give himself some space to Tyler Wettengel back in third. They're all battling really hard for position, though, to get that last podium spot and give themselves a good starting position in the pre-final here. Danny Dzelski really needs a good finish because he already has a DNF in Heat 1, or at least close to one. So he's really going to start getting anxious here and trying to get himself some positions as we come for 2 to go here, as Connor Ferris is still giving us a good gap as he's still stretching the gap. He just did a 1:13.2 again and is pulling away from the rest of the field as none of the top 7 are even in the 1:13s.
Yep, and again, remember the driver that helped him with that DNF was Tyler Wettengel, and it looks like Danny Dzelski got right up behind him going into turn number 1, and Wettengel went up the racetrack there. Don't know if we had contact or not. There's some contact. Nikita Panaris and Wettengel come together. Here's Gavin Griffin looking to take advantage. He'll go around the outside on Wettengel, won't get by, and Adam Maxwell nearly gets through. That was a major accordion effect, and Maxwell's now going to get by Griffin in the green corner. Panaris will not be able to fully get back by, and Wettengel hangs on all the while. Dzelski, through that, gets a major, major gap back to the guy that, in his mind, might have been the reason that he DNF'd in heat number 1.
Yeah, I don't know what that happened. I don't know what happened in I-70, but I'll let the officials decide on that one. Dzelski still, though, right up on Keegan Bosch as we watch the battle back to 4th. As Tyler Wettengel starting to give himself a little bit of space back to Adam Maxwell, but Adam Maxwell is not going to give up that easily. He's been running up at the front this whole race as we come to the white flag. 1 lap to go here in Newcastle. Still, though, Connor Ferris pulling away from the field. He was 3 to 4 tenths of a second faster than Keegan Bosch that last time by, so I think he's got this one in the bag as long as nothing goes wrong. But Danny Dzelski is right up next to Keegan Bosch as he's going to try and make a move here for the 2nd position. Keegan Bosch defends. Danny Dzelski goes to the outside. Not going to make it happen here. Going into the red 171 corner. Danny Dzelski to the outside again. He does not want to have what happened yesterday happen again to him today.
Yeah, he's being a whole lot smarter here, making sure that if he's going to go wide, that there's room for him. Last time, of course, we're coming to that same section where that race ended early, where Tyler Wettengel was defending the inside. Dzelski went high. Wettengel didn't see him, and they collided. No penalty was given there. It was a hard racing deal, and as they battle behind here, you could see them still shuffling. Nikita Panaris has just gone back by on Adam Maxwell, and look who's gone back into the picture here. Tyler Wettengel closing into Dzelski. We're waiting towards the finish as Bosch blocks the inside for 2 more turns. Dzelski won't go. Now he's got to block himself to worry about Wettengel. And out of the final turn, Connor Ferris is going to win, and Dzelski leaves the door open in the final corner. He'll lose 2 spots at the end. Wettengel gets through, and so does Panaris. Dzelski to 5th at the drop of the checkered flag.
Yeah, that was tough for Dzelski after a bad finish yesterday. Losing 1 spot makes the world of a difference when we have these A pre-final, B pre-final. He's going to have to hope that he gets to the A pre-final with those 2 finishes. And the top 5 are Connor Ferris still pulling away from the field the whole race. Great race by him. 2nd place, Keegan Bosch. 3rd place, Tyler Wettengel. Nikita Panaris makes it up to 4th place in the last corner right there. And Danny Dzelski rounding out your top 5. Next up, KA Stars Heat Race A, Heat Race 2. Going to be a good race here. I think it is Gavin. I think we got the 2 Bailiff brothers in this one, so going to be interesting to watch that one for sure. Next up will be KA Stars Heat A, Heat 2. See you then.
USA, a top-level performance team with unmatched hospitality, offering a full-service driver development program with year-round testing available in Miami, Florida, and the official North America racing team of Parolin Racing Chassis. Chassis and parts available at ParolinUSA.com.
I'm David Serra, 18-time Australian karting champion, and we're launching Kart Class. Kart Class is an advanced digital training program that suits a driver who's just starting out in the sport, all the way to the driver looking to win a national championship. In this program, you're going to be learning about how to find the ideal racing line and what an apex is, braking and throttle markers, wet weather racing lines, and how to overtake other competitors. We target how to brake in the wet weather, and we look on the mental side of kart racing as well with our mental skills coach. At the completion of this program, you'll be lighting up purple sectors in qualifying, know when to defend on the opening laps, and how to pressure your opposition into mistakes. We teach you the tools to be resilient and how to get in the right frame of mind before a race. We look to complete the whole package by getting a strong mindset, a driving
Welcome back here from Newcastle Motorsports Park, and we can see here the pit lane exit has already claimed a number of victims here today, and we've got another one. It is the 946 Tony Kart machine. As we're getting ready to go green here with the second heat for Group A in the KA Stars division. It's Grant Vogel, who was slotted to start in 13th, that has pounded the fence. He's going to try and rejoin the field here in time, but he might have some significant damage. Let's take it to the rest of the starting lineup here as we get set to go green. First up, starting on the pole, we'll have Gavin Bailiff in the 964 Trinity Karting Group Kart Republic. To his outside will be the Privateer Cosmic, the 911 of Tristan Farber.
In the second row, we have Chase Jones and Elliot Budzinski, followed by Finnegan Bailiff and Drew James, rounding out your third row.
Row number 4 will have the 948 Tony Kart of James Overback to the inside of Hunter Perry. And rounding your top 10, it'll be Mick Gabriel in the AEM Karting Cosmic and PJ Lida aboard the Landau Norris Kart number 900.
Yeah, the field's super stretched out here as we head into the last two corners. Not sure we're going to get the green this time by. Interesting to see the 946 hit the fence here in the pit exit, as we've seen that happen so many times, not even just this weekend, but last year at USPKS as well. It's crazy to me that people are still doing that after seeing so many videos and memes even just about people doing that. So as we come to the green flag here, we're not going to get the green flag this time around. We're going to have to wait for the field to catch up as we go through turn 1 here. Still formation lap. It's going to be a fun race. This one was interesting yesterday as we had the teammates versus the brothers. I'm sure we'll see some more of that today.
Yeah, I mean, no kidding here. We saw definitely some elbows up racing yesterday with Chase Jones, Elliot Budzinski versus Finnegan Bailiff, Gavin Bailiff, and then others got involved as the race went on towards the finish. They all will start again near each other. That's the one thing about, especially the way this format works. Sometimes if it were groups of 4 and then, kind of a round-robin heat format, Connor, similar to what we see at the Supernats or some of the other major races in the U.S. that have classes bigger than the main event grid, you can maybe get away with getting into somebody you may or may not even see him in the final, but you won't see him again. All these guys, they're seeing each other again today in the same starting positions, and they get to run it back. So you got to be careful of how you drive somebody because they're going to line up next to you in the second heat.
As we're green into turn 1 here, Gavin Bailiff leading your field. Chase Jones following closely behind with Tristan Farber on the outside. Oh, yeah, Tristan Farber, same as yesterday, goes off. Same thing as yesterday. Killed him yesterday, and it's going to kill him again today as he goes all the way back to last. Still, though, Gavin Bailiff leading with Chase Jones right behind him. Finnegan Bailiff back to third, or up to third, I should say, with Elliot Budzinski back to fourth with James Overbeck in fifth. The top 3 starting to spread away, though, as we go into the green corner here. Elliot Budzinski's going to have some work to do to get to the back of that trio.
Yeah, I mean, you called it, Connor. Tristan Farber, same story as yesterday. The difference is he got burned a whole lot worse today, a full 360 spin, and he was stuck in the grass for quite some time. He's only just now gotten refired and is trying to get back onto the race, or caught up to the rest of the pack. I don't know if he ever will at this point, barring a red flag, which isn't out of the question with other racing for the lead, because here comes Chase Jones to the point. Gavin Bailiff down to second. Finnegan Bailiff still watching in third. And the MPG Motorsports Will Power Cart will lead lap number 1.
Yeah, we're seeing about the same story as we did yesterday with the top 4. The 2 teammates and the 2 brothers. The 2 brothers already battling each other for second here. Finnegan Bailiff and Gavin Bailiff. Gavin is not happy with his brother as they head into turn 1. Chase Jones is going to have some work to do as they're right on his tail going into the Monza here. We'll see if we make any moves for the lead here as Finnegan Bailiff is right on him, and he does. He goes the inside of the Monza, and Chase Jones is back to second with Gavin Bailiff right on Chase Jones in third. And we got some battling for fourth. Elliot Budzinski has been passed by James Overbeck. James Overbeck starting to reel in the leaders here. Gavin Bailiff and Finnegan Bailiff are not happy with each other as they continue to battle for second place.
Yeah, the American Sign Language going on between both of those guys, having a lot of English in it for sure. They'll head to the cell tower once again. Nobody having to defend too much this time. Here's Budzinski back on Overbeck. That's for fourth. Hunter Perry trying to get by for fifth. He will not do so. It'll give a little bit of a gap once again to the top 3. Chase Jones leads them out of the blue corner this time. And again, a little carburetor adjustment, it looks like, for Chaser down through to the 90s. He'll take him out of the grid corner this time. 2 laps complete. We'll have about 7 to go as the timer's showing 2.5 minutes a lap so far.
Yeah, Chase Jones starting to spread himself out a little bit as we head down the straightaway, but that won't last for long as the 2 brothers are pushing closely behind. And Gavin Bailiff sends it from about a kart length and a half back. Finnegan Bailiff is going to follow him through as Chase Jones is back to third now. It looks like we have Hunter Perry up into 4th place. That's a new face in this class as he's running the 206 Stars class as well. He's up almost to the lead trio as we head into the red 171 corner. Gavin Bailiff and Finnegan Bailiff, P1 and 2, starting to spread out as the top 3 all have about a kart length and a half between each other, and Hunter Perry is following closely behind. Elliot Budzinski is back to 6th with James Overbeck into 5th. As we head down through the kink and into the cell tower corner, the 2 brothers pushing each other. Nope, Finnegan Bailiff is taking over that lead as they just now started to get a gap from Chase Jones. That gap is going to vanish very soon as you see Chase Jones all the way back up to their bumper already. And they are not giving each other some space as these 2 brothers are going after it for the lead. Finnegan and Gavin. Yesterday we saw them working together. Today they are not working together so well, so they're going to have some work to do as Chase Jones is caught right back up, but Chase Jones does not have any help from Elliot Budzinski as he's all the way back in 6th. Hunter Perry's trying to keep up with that lead trio, but he is just not hanging on as the lead trio going to the I-70 corner, all of them going to the inside. Finnegan Bailiff back to the lead in the I-70 corner.
Yeah, Finnegan Bailiff now going to have Gavin Bailiff back on the bumper into Monza, and both of the drivers again here. There's Finn even blocking a little bit from his brother. Gavin to the outside, crossover, nicely done. He'll get the inside lane into the scoreboard hairpin and get clear. So I don't know how much team racing there's really going on. Budzinski's obviously faded backwards, and the 2 TKG KRs, the brothers, they're going at it here in this heat race, Connor.
Yeah, not what we saw yesterday as the 2 of them worked together to get around Elliot Budzinski and Chase Jones. Today they are going after it for the lead. Chase Jones goes to the inside to split the brothers as he goes into second. Gavin Bailiff still in the lead. Hunter Perry is trying to get his name in there as he's trying to go around Finnegan Bailiff around the outside of the double left. He's going to try and make a move here soon to get around Finnegan Bailiff and get himself into the podium's position.
Yeah, here they come into the grid corners once again. Gavin Bailiff, Chase Jones, Finnegan Bailiff. Hunter Perry having more pace than he's had most of this weekend. He's the Stars Championship Series regular, and he's having, again, a pretty solid performance, all things considered, to be up at the level that he's at right now. James Overbeck as well in his KA senior debut to the inside. Oh,
commentator's curse gets him.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. And it knocks the chain off Finnegan Bailiff's car as well. So Finn Bailiff out as well. James Overbeck way wide there as he locked the brakes up down the inside.
Yeah, that was just a mistake on James Overbeck's part. Too deep into the corner as he was trying to get by.
Oh, we got problems for another one here. PJ Lida's off the racetrack in the Monza. He was running just inside the top 10 and 10th. He'll drag his kart back onto the racetrack. So chaos all over the place here on lap number 5.
Yeah, 3 of our top 10 runners are out of this race, or at least all the way to the back as we see PJ Lida James Overbeck and Finnegan Bailiff are all the way to the back after running P2, 5, and 10 last time by. So that's a big change in the top 10 as we see Elliot Budzinski up into the top 3. The 2 leaders still Gavin Bailiff, and we have Chase Jones in P2 with, who is that in fourth? Fourth, I don't even know.
Yeah, that
That's
looks
Mick
to
Gabriel.
be Mick Gabriel.
Yeah,
Mick
Mick Gabriel up
Gabriel
in the 4th position. He came by last time, I think, outside of the top 5. So for him to be in 4th right now is pretty good for him as Chase Jones blocks the inside from Gavin Bailiff.
Yeah.
They have a bit of a gap, so that's an interesting strategy to see from him, but that's going to bring Elliot Budzinski back into it and make it a 3-man show.
Well, that was actually Chase Jones going back through to the lead, to be fair there. He was going down the inside on Gavin Bailiff to take over the top spot. Now he is indeed blocking, but again, maybe that's where he thinks Gavin Bailiff's got a little more pace than him, so he'll go back to the normal line to the green corner at least, not really have to worry too much there. Like you said, Budzinski close. Maybe he wants to bring Budzinski into the mix, have a teammate there to help him to get away from Gavin Bailiff. And again, Mick Gabriel, like you mentioned, who hadn't seen him up front, master of disaster right now is the 933. And look at that battle there at the end of the group there. That is the midfield all the way back outside most of the top 10. I think that's Mason Surgener, Brandon Adkins. Adkins leading that group, so he's in 8th. So this is 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. I think it goes back to about 13th or 14th that we had on the screen for a moment, while your leaders come around the final corner here this time.
Yeah, we're going to have about 3 laps to go this time by as Chase Jones takes a look over his shoulder to see where they are behind him. Elliot Budzinski still trying to reel these leaders in as they go into the I-70 corner. The 2 leaders are going to stay in line as we can't even see the 4th place battle as we go through turn number 2. Into the Monza. We'll see if Chase Jones blocks the inside with 3 laps to go. Interesting strategy to see from him as Gavin Bailiff goes all the way to the inside going into the red 171 corner. They are not giving this one up easy.
That's the second time Gavin Bailiff's pulled off that nice crossover move. A couple guys have tried it this weekend. I think he's the only one that's been successful to cross someone up coming out of that Monza section if they're blocking. And it's worked out 2 times so far to get him back to the point. Into the cell tower hairpin. Gavin goes on the defense mode. And here comes Budzinski. He'll get close. Does Chase Jones put the bumper to him? I'm not sure what will happen here, but we're about to find out because this time by, the double sticks will fly. 2 laps to go at the line. Gavin Bailiff, Chase Jones, Elliot Budzinski, the top 3. Here's Jones to the inside of the grid turn. That was slick right there.
Yeah,
Conrad.
Gavin was blocking every single corner, but forgot to block that one as Elliot Budzinski's going to follow him through. Oh, the 2 leaders collect. Oh, Budzinski's wheel just came off the rim. He's going to be done or at least go to the back after that contact.
No way he could finish like that.
Yeah,
oh, my
I
goodness.
could see his white rim from up in the booth. That was pretty interesting to say the least, and that's going to put Gavin Bailiff in the defensive position for second as Hunter Perry is right up to his bumper with Mick Gabriel following closely behind in 4th. Chase Jones is going to have this one in the bag as long as nothing goes wrong. He's leading by a mile.
Yeah, so now Gavin Bailiff, Hunter has to deal with
there
Hunter
goes
Perry and
Budzinski
Mick
as we
Gabriel.
see on the screen.
Oh,
he's done.
He's done.
And he's putting his hands in the air. He is not a happy camper with Gavin Bailiff after that contact in the last corner. Wow. He is not happy.
Yeah.
But as we see the 2nd, 3rd, 4th battle, still Gavin Bailiff leading that, protecting his inside to keep these 2 guys behind him. But they are not going to let him have this one easy.
Yeah, Elliot Budzinski, again, not a happy camper there for that one, obviously, as you're watching the battle for P2. Here they come on through. There's the leader, Chase Jones. He's kept, again, a smartly driven race together for himself, and he'll see the white flag this time by. 1 lap to go for Chase Jones, 1 lap to go for this battle for second. Bailiff, Perry, Gabriel, 2, 3, 4, headed down to the I-70 corner. It's a big run coming for Perry. Can he get to the inside? Not this time. Gavin Bailiff doing a nice job defending there, and he's got a lot more corners to defend into. I don't think he expected an attempt on that one to the outside of the Monza. Whoa.
Yeah, that wasn't going to work for Hunter Perry. He went to the inside in turn 2, but turn 3 is a right-hander, and he was not on the inside for that one, so he's going to have to give that one up. And he's beginning to try and defend from Mick Gabriel to keep himself in that top 3. As Gavin Bailiff starts to pull away from them, it's going to be a battle for 3rd as we come here. Last lap, half a lap to go. We'll see if Mick Gabriel can make any moves to get up into the 3rd position going into the cell tower here. Not going to make it happen. He's going to try and cross him over here. Can he make it happen in the double left? They're going to go side by side. no contact, but clean racing. Mick Gabriel's not going to be able to get by him here. We have about 4 corners left to go. We'll see if Mick Gabriel can make any moves stick, as Chase Jones is almost 2 corners to go here. He's going to win this one with ease, as Gavin Bailiff is going to do so as well in second place. Chase Jones going to take the win here. That looks like Gavin Bailiff hangs a tire, but he's going to still come away with second. Hunter Perry's going to come away with third, and Mick Gabriel will end out the top 4 in fourth. That looks like Tyler Trent in 5th place. That's a new name for us, with a lot of new names inside the top 10, really.
Yeah, that was a big-time shakeup of a heat race here. Again, let's go through the way that they wrapped up and your top 10, because for the second day in a row, the class that has gotten a little bit wild has been the KA Stars Group A heat race. In this case, it was for heat number 2. Chase Jones, your winner at the time that the dust settled here over Gavin Bailiff, Hunter Perry, Mick Gabriel, and Tyler Trent, as Connor mentioned, his first time into the top 5. Jonah Hanran, Drew James, Brandon Adkins, Garrett Davis, Dane McMahon, your top 10 here from Newcastle. We're going to go to commercial. When we come back, more racing action. The KA Stars are wrapped up, and I'll be stepping out of the booth for just a moment. We'll have Emery Lida get up and join us here on the broadcast booth, the name you may remember from our last broadcast at GoPro Motorplex with the U.S. Pro Kart Series. Stick with us. You're watching King of the Castle on Kart Chaser. Kart Store USA is a kart parts supplier that racers and retailers can count on when they need reliable advice and service. We focus on servicing all racers with honesty and pride while maintaining customer satisfaction. We carry a full stock of Kart Republic and Tony Kart chassis, as well as IAMI and Vortex Rock engines. We've also got a host of other parts available and in stock, such as products from Rev Performance Materials, Jecco Racing Seats, and more. We have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and on top of that, if your order exceeds $200, shipping is on us. Check out all we have to offer today by visiting us online at kartstore-usa.com. As the Western importer of the Praga and Formula K chassis brands, Leading Edge Motorsports is a high-performance kart shop and race team with a simple mission: teach others the joy of high-performance driving, supply our customers with the highest quality products and services, and most of all, win races. With our remarkable racing inventory, expert services, and top-ranked national-level team to back it up, we'll help to get your new kart racing package up and running fast. From arrive and drive service to kart preparation and driver coaching to the parts you need to get you back on the racetrack, Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer.
Rolling out here for the Micro Swift heat number 2, we've got AJ Stoner on pole alongside Christopher Yautzi with Caleb Tartar and Marco Samut in row 2. This is going to be a pretty good race. Yesterday was a good race as we saw Kai Mars took the win coming from 7th place. Definitely going to be something to watch for here as we had a lot of shuffling up at the front. So looking forward to this one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Mars had a really good heat race yesterday. It was a really close front pack when you look all the way down. Really, all the way to the top 7 in that race had a very close battle. And so,
we got 2 spun around on the warm-up lap here. As you can tell, the track's still cold. These micro drivers are trying to get their tires warm, but as you can tell, it's not that easy right now.
yeah, I mean, certainly it's a slick track. The micro is obviously on a little bit of a harder tire than sometimes we'll see. Obviously, a little bit of inexperience coming into play as well. This is the first time all week where they've been on a really cold track, and so you're kind of seeing the effects of that. And obviously, I mean, this is a pretty deep microfield, 23 karts deep. You've got a lot of fast karts that have been up at the front this weekend, kind of a lot of parity from qualifying as well. I mean, got guys from the front row that fell back a little bit in the race. Christopher USC ended up in P4. Then obviously, I mean, you've got really that front 7 in the heat race were really close as they're starting to form up for the start, coming around just to get to the end of the lap, coming to the last couple of corners now. Going to be interesting to see if they can get formed up. I think there's quite a big field spread, so they might have to come around for one more, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, AJ Stoner slowing them down a bunch here. We might be able to go green as long as they keep this pace. As you can see, it's going to be a good race, as yesterday they were really close and a lot of change for the lead. And we got a few slow here as we come around the last corner. We got a couple guys catching up onto the tail end of the field here. Hopefully we can get them green here this time by and not have to go around another lap. I think we're all here, so we should be going green as we hit the tram lines. Our starter, Justin Dittrich, is going to get us green here as we're going racing into turn 1. The field spread out way behind Kai Mars all the way up into 3rd place already, starting 7th. And I think that's AJ Stoner still out front with Caleb Tartar following closely behind as we head into the Monza.
Yeah, a lot of packing, shuffling going on out of turn 1. Obviously, you can see Stoner had a rough heat race yesterday, did not finish the race. He's in the lead. Nice for him to get off the line good. You've got Caleb Tartar in 2nd, Kai Mars in 3rd already, like you mentioned, making up for a pretty lackluster qualifying start, qualifying 7th. You can see really the front 6 now with a little bit of a gap back to the pack behind them. Then, I mean, in general, you're talking about a lead pack that, as we mentioned yesterday, a lot of fast karts there. You can see already a little bit of a gap for Stoner. He looks like he's not going to be under threat coming into the backside of the course, into the cell tower. Now it's Tartar that's potentially under threat from Kai Mars as they come through cell tower corner.
Yeah, AJ Stoner already pulling out to a little bit of a lead in front of Caleb Tartar, but as we've talked about previously, these micro divisions and all the cadet divisions, really a lot of draft comes into play here, so I would not be surprised if Caleb Tartar is able to pull back up in the draft. As we head down into the scale corner, we got about a 7-kart train or a 4-kart train split up in 2s as we head here through the last few corners. I'm not sure where Christopher Yautzi is. I think that would be him. It looks like back in, I don't even know, honestly. Let me go to live timing here and see where Christopher Yautzi.
He's in 6th.
That's a rough first lap for him as he's 6th place coming across the line here. 5th, 5 spots lost on the first lap, so going to be interesting to see if he can make his way back up into that top 4.
So we got Tartar trying to go around the outside coming into the Monza. That was a really bold move for him. He's been able to catch Stoner. Stoner made a little bit of a mistake coming out of the last corner. He's going to be defending into the hairpin now, and it looks like the top 2 are going to be right there. That's going to allow the rest of the pack to catch up. Tartar's found his way to the inside, out of scoreboard. Stoner's able to defend. Tartar's still going to send it down the inside, and it looks like he's got the corner through green corner.
Yeah, Marcus Samut is right up on the back of him here in 3rd place as we head through the kink. Marcus Samut going to try and make a move here through the kink and not going to make it stick. AJ Stoner still in 2nd place, falling right behind Caleb Tartar. Caleb Tartar's going to have to go on the defensive to try and keep all these karts behind him. As you can see, the rest of the field filing right in line as we have about an 8-kart train for the lead.
Yeah, I mean, Tartar able to get back into the lead after. Really, he fell back a little bit on the first lap, able to get the lead in at the end of the first lap into the second lap, and now you can see Stoner's still right on him. Behind him, I mean, you've got a group of fast karts and Marcus Samut. You've got Kai Mars, you've got Holden Harder, just a whole group full of guys that had a lot of speed yesterday, and they're going to try to close back up to this front 2. We'll see if Stoner's going to work with Tartar. As you can see, that group really kind of got slowed down a little bit by the racing last lap around. Adam Woolridge went purple from P7 with a 1:21.602. So still a few seconds off of what we saw yesterday. Those times are going to continue to drop as the race goes on. But now, I mean, you've got a group all the way back to about P9 and Cameron Marcia that's really kind of right at the tail end, maybe a little bit outside of the draft, but still definitely within striking distance. And with the amount of racing we've seen early on, definitely going to be in that draft sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Caleb Tartar starting to pull away a little bit here as we head into the green corner, but AJ Stoner is not going to give this one up as Caleb Tartar hangs a tire, and Marco Samat is going to go to the lead. Oh, he went third to first in the kink, the flat-out kink. He passed 2 people. That was super impressive as we head into the cell tower here. We got a 6 or 7 cart train. Super tight racing here as we saw in Heat 1 as well. It's going to be interesting. We got about 4 minutes left on the clock and then 2 laps after that, so we still have a lot of time for a lot of different passing zones and a lot of interesting racing here to follow.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like Kai Mars trying to make a move for third through the cell tower, but just in general, I mean, these guys are being really aggressive early in the race. I mean, already you've seen guys like Marcus have been able to get up to the lead. I mean, that move through the kink was incredible, and now as he comes across the line, you're going to see a group all the way back to 9th, all within striking distance of the draft. Cameron Marcia goes purple from P8 with a 1:21.026. He's been catching the group by about half a second a lap the last couple of laps now. And now as you look up to the front, you've got a battle for third. Oh, I think that's AJ Stoner off the track again. The second time in 2 heat races that he's had issues, and now he's going to drop all the way back to the end of that group. Kai Mars looked like he gave him a little bit of an elbows type of move. And now, I mean, Mars is in P3. It's allowed the front 2 to get away, but certainly the guy that came off worse from that is AJ Stoner.
Yeah, AJ Stoner putting his hand up as he goes back to the tail end of that first pack. He's going to have some work to do, try and catch back up to them. Our pole sitter here all the way back to that looks like 9th position, so he's going to have to try and reel them back in as we see the lead group here still. I think that's Marco Samet in the lead with Caleb Tartar following right behind him as we head down into cell tower corner. That looks like Kai Mars following closely behind in 3rd. He's going to try and catch up to that lead group as we have Holden Harder right there in 4th as well.
Yeah, I mean, Mars, certainly the start of that lap really pushed him back a little bit, but as the front 2 looks like they're willing to continue to work together, that's going to be difficult to make up. Somewhat looks like he has quite a lot of pace with a 1:21.3 last lap, despite the move in the kink. He has been able to really set the pace up front, really smooth laps, and now looks like they're putting a little bit of distance to the group from 3rd to 7th, and then certainly back to 8th as well. And I mean, now you see those front 2 look like they're content to work together. Somewhat just went purple with a 1:20.4. Quite a lot of pace in that car, content to work through turn 1. Looks like for really all the way back to 7th or 8th is going to be completely training, just no real passing going on there. It looks like everyone's trying to work together. Cameron Marsh has been the man on the move. It looks like he's found his way up into P5, or P7, excuse me, after a really tough start to the weekend, tough start to the race, but he's running times that are as quick as anyone else in that group.
Yeah, Cameron Marshall really starting to make his name heard in this Micro Swift division as we head through the green corner here. Marco Samet has had some good people helping him with Brandon Jarscrack and Paulie Massimino coaching him up, and that's got him into this lead with a purple lap time, so he's going to start to try and break away from Caleb Tartar. As you see, is about a 2 cart length gap going into the cell tower corner, but Caleb Tartar is going to be trying to keep that gap tight as he goes to the double left. Narrow line here, but it works for him as he gets the gap down to about a cart length as we go through the blue corner.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like those front 2 are going to have the race to themselves unless something happens, unless Kai Mars can pull something out of his bag. Obviously, Kai Mars is going to be content to run in 3rd after the success he had yesterday in heat race, winning it. Certainly, the Trinity karting group driver has been really fast this weekend, but it looks like the front 2 just have a little bit more pace, and Summit in particular is running really fast lap times at 1:20.3. He's got 2 to 3 tenths on anyone else in that group, and certainly, as you look down the list, I mean, everyone's running in the mid to high 20s, and then there's Marco Summit all alone at the front. He's been able to get a little bit of a gap to Tartar, but now Tartar's able to close back up through the draft, and as they go into Monza, it looks like he's right back up to the bumper of him.
Yeah, talking about AJ Stoner, who went back to the back. Interesting to see him a little bit off pace as he's about a second off of our leader, not really making any strides to catch up to that lead group. So I think he's going to have to settle for an 8th or 9th place position here, and that's going to hurt him in our pre-final points as we go through the green corner here. Still Marco Samet leading our group as we go through the kink now with Caleb Tartar right behind him. He's going to be looking to make a move into the cell tower here as we're going to have 2 laps to go as we come by this next lap. Still, Kai Mars really trying to close in on those leaders, as I think he is closing that gap as we go by this time. We're going to have 2 laps to go, as I said.
Yeah, this looks like it's been a little bit of a rough lap from Samet. Certainly Caleb Tartar right on him. You've got Kai Mars closing in. Looks like the gap down to P5 and Holden Harder, or P4 and Holden Harder as well is starting to come down as well. So those top 4 might be together as they come to the end of the lap. And you look at the way that Tartar has been able to be consistent in this race and be kind of patient in second, and you'll see if it potentially pays dividends now, because you've got a smaller front group than at the start of the race. You've got a position now where you can pretty easily make a move on this straightaway. It's an easy track to pass at. And now, I mean, you've got a little bit of a gap to Kai Mars, so I would not be surprised if you see this next lap is where Tartar decides to make his move.
Yeah, don't count out 5th to 7th here as they are trying to reel in these leaders single file through the Monza. None of them battling too much. Smart driving from the guys out front as Caleb Tartar goes in really deep into the Monza and misses his apex a little bit, and Marco Samet's able to get a 3 kart length gap going into the red 171 hairpin. Still Kai Mars though in 3rd with Holden Harder back there in 4th, trying to reel in these top 2 guys as Kai Mars is just about to the bumper of Caleb Tartar as we go through the green corner into the kink. Marco Samet has some breathing room, but we have a lap car right in front of him. This could spice some things up as that driver is off pace, and we are going to have a very technical section coming up, so it's going to be hard to get around him. Hopefully Marco Samet can get around him smoothly, and we can keep racing smooth. As he does. He gets right around him in the blue corner and is able to maintain his gap as Kai Mars gets up into the 2nd position. This is going to be interesting coming down to the skill corner. Can all 3 drivers get by this lap driver? Yes, they can. As we go through, Kai Mars, Caleb Tartar battling for 3rd with Holden Harder. Caleb Tartar is not going to be able to race for this win as Marco Samet is gapping the rest of the field. As we get the white flag right now, 1 lap to go. Marco Samet takes a look over his shoulder, sees he has a gap, puts his head down. He knows all he has to do is do these consistent laps that he has been running this entire race, and he will be good as they battle hard for 2nd here to I-70. Caleb Tartar takes back over that 2nd position that he has been running all race long. Kai Mars is not going to let that go easy, though, as they go into the Monza here.
Yeah, obviously that mistake from Tartar on the last lap coming through Monza really hurt him, allowed Kai Mars to get right up on his bumper, make the pass into the cell tower. Now, as they come down into the rest of the one corner, looks like Kai Mars was able to make the move stick. He's going to get right up to the edge. Tartar holds it around the outside and keeps the position through the kink. Now as they go up to green corner, it looks like it's going to be Tartar in 2nd. Mars into 3rd now. Harder's still back there in P4, just waiting for the chaos to go. They've got another lap cart to deal with coming through the kink. Looks like he's not going to be able to get out of the way in time. They're going to come into the cell tower, and Tartar's going to be able to hold 2nd place through the cell tower. That was vital. One of the last passing zones on the track. You can see now Kai Mars lost a little bit of time in that exchange because of the lap cart. It kind of disrupted things, and now that looks like it might let Caleb Tartar off free. Obviously, they're all fighting for 2nd behind Marco Samet, who has had a really good race to work his way up to the front from 4th on the grid. He's going to come around with a good, solid 2nd or so gap behind him. Obviously, Caleb Tartar in 2nd place, where he was for most of the race. You've got Kai Mars, almost got up to the 2nd place again. He's going to end up in P3. Then behind him, you've got Holden Harder in P4. Adam Woolridge was able to win out the battle for 5th. Behind him, Cameron Marcia in P6. You've got Christopher. You see a little bit of disappointing race in 7th after a rough start. AJ Stoner ends up 8th after the contact coming out of turn 1. Then you've got Grady Chronic in P9, and rounding out your top 10 looks like it'll be Danny O'Gara.
Yeah, that was a good race, as we saw in race 1 as well, or heat 1. Super close racing at the front, except for Marco Samet. He was able to get a gap and pull away from the rest of the field. He's going to be happy with that race, and that's going to give him a good starting spot for the pre-final later today.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be looking at this race in the pre-final and final as one of the most competitive classes out there. Obviously, Samet was able to have a competitive race and kind of get himself a bit of a gap at the end, but you've got Caleb Tartar, you've got Kai Mars, you've got Holden Harder, and then you've got AJ Stoner. All 5 of those guys have had race-winning pace over the course of this weekend.
Yeah, we got about 6 karts that I think can battle for the win here. I don't know where AJ Stoner is going to start, but he's fast as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who's able to get that win as we come to the pre-final time. But here we go. We got the rest of the karts coming through the line here. But we're going to have next up. Who's next up? It looks like we got shifter drivers on the grid as we're going to get ready to go here for heat number 2 for the, I want to say master shifter category. But we'll be right back after this commercial break.
All right, back again now for the KZ and Rock Masters class. You're going to have Evan Batt on pole in the number 604. Also won the pre-final or the heat race yesterday. Alongside him is going to be Joe Ruck in the 653 cart, Jason Campbell in P3, Lance Lane in P4. You're going to have Justin Kelly P5, Scott Presti in P6. This was a heat race yesterday that, in all honesty, Evan Batt was able to really just kind of cruise, got a big gap to second place. He's been dominant all weekend, has the fastest cart over one lap. He's been able to keep the tires in check throughout the heat race, and we'll have to see how he's able to do in this race. But certainly, I mean, as we go through the formation lap for this heat, it looks like this class is going to hopefully be a little bit more competitive than yesterday. But certainly, I mean, you've got 27 carts in this field all the way back down through the KZ Masters and Rock Masters, kind of a mixture of the two engines. All of the fast guys in this class, all the way down to P6 in qualifying, were on the KZ engine. And I mean, these guys are ripping it for being in Masters. Running low 108 times for Evan Batt is a very fast time. As they get set, get gridded up for the start, you're going to have a standing start here. Obviously, it's always important in shifter to be able to get the whole shot. You've seen, obviously, yesterday, I believe it was Evan Batt that was able to get the whole shot and get clear away into turn one and then kind of just get off in the smooth sailing. But we'll have to see if anyone can be able to get that position from him and make life difficult for him in the second heat race for KZ and Rock Masters.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go here. The final drivers coming through the last corner, getting gridded up. This is when the nerves start to kick in as these drivers 27 deep. As there's a lot of master shifters here. Super impressive turnout from the master shifters standpoint. As we get ready to go green here, visors are going down, and we are getting ready to go Formula One style. Lights 1, 2, 3, 4. And lights are out, and away we go. We're green. Joe Rook gets the whole shot as we have one driver at the back not getting rolling, so they're going to have to push him. But Joe Rook is our leader going into turn one with Evan Batt following right there behind in P2.
Yeah, this changes things a little bit now with Rook able to get into the lead, as now he can sort of set his own marks and see if he can keep that behind him for as long as possible. Obviously, you've got a good bit of battling back in the middle of the field. Looks like from about 6 on back, you've got one of the magic carts there going defensive into the scoreboard corner. Really a lot of battling going on through the field. 27 carts deep. Like you mentioned, this is a really good turnout for Rock and KZ Masters. Obviously, as you come up the hill now, you've got, looks like Rock and Batt have kind of set sails on the rest of the field, but from third on back, it is a complete hornet's nest back there. I mean, you've got what looks to be about a 4-cart train there, all kind of getting mixed up, all sort of battling each other out through the double left into the right-hand blue corner. Now you can see just a big gap for Ruck now at the front. Then it's Batt right behind him, and then there's a huge gap back to 3rd through 6th. And all of them, as they get stacked up, we'll try to get names on all of them coming through the final corner as we come across the line for the first time. Ruck has about a 4 or 5 cart length lead over Evan Batt. In 3rd place, it's going to be Jason Campbell. Justin Kelly's in 4th. Rod Clinner in 5th. Lance Lane in 6th. A whole lot of good racing there. It looks like Lane kind of had a bit of a rough start from the 2nd row. Now they're 3 wide coming out of turn 1 briefly. I believe that might have been Justin Kelly able to get up into P3. Now, though, Campbell's able to get back at him coming through the Monza. They're all stacking up coming out of the Monza now. The Magic Cart gets pushed out wide there. That looks like about a 4-cart train is about to become about a 7-cart train now. As the guys from 7th through 9th, that'd be Brad Danoff, Robert Feige, and Chris Jennings all getting stacked up there. And now you've got that whole group way behind the leaders of Ruck and Batt.
Yeah, Rook and Batt have been able to get themselves a good gap as we started this race. Rook's been just kind of maintaining a 3 or 4 cart length gap as we head through the double left here. The rest of the field battling behind. That looks like 3rd to about 10th place in one second, about a second gap. So it's going to be interesting to watch them as they battle for 3rd position, try and round out that podium position. But honestly, Evan Batt can just stay in 2nd place and he will be able to start on pole. So not sure what his strategy is going to be here, but if it were me, I would just save my tires for the pre-final and try to kind of just hang in 2nd place because he got the pole position. So as long as he stays where he is right now, he will start the main or the pre-final from the pole position. So we'll see if he gives Joe Rook a battle here as he gets right up to his bumper coming out of the I-70 corner and into the Monza as we watch the rest of the field come through I-70. We got a big train of carts here for the 3rd position. That looks to be
Lance Lane got it up into P4 there. Obviously, Lane had a rough start, dropped back to about 6th or 7th. He's been able to find his way back up into the top 5. You've got Justin Kelly as well in that mix. Jason Campbell looks like he's kind of solidified himself in P3 at the moment. But really, you've got battling all the way back to about 11th or 12th in that group, all just sort of stacking up. I mean, now there's a little bit more of a gap than there was last lap, but I mean, all the way back down the field. All of these guys are very closely matched. So we look through the cell tower corner. Now there's a bit of a mix up there from about P7, I believe that is. Certainly those 3 karts are going at it. That's going to create a bit of a gap in between the top 5 and the rest of the field. But obviously, I mean, this has been a really good race now as we pan back to Joe Ruck and Evan Batt in P2 as well. Like you mentioned, Batt might be content to just save his tires and stay in P2. But also at the same time, it's a racing driver. Like, you know, you have to have that sort of intensity. There goes Batt down the inside into turn 1, wasting no time on Ruck. Ruck's going to try to cross him over on exit through the hills. Now we see Ruck is able to get the position back coming into the Monza. That's going to mean that Batt's going to have to kind of wait his time a little bit more, but certainly Batt wasted no time trying to make that move down into turn 1. Just overcooked it a little bit. Now as Ruck is a little bit defensive through the scoreboard hairpin. Looks like he's got him covered pretty good now at the moment, but certainly those front 2 had a quick battle there, and maybe that's a sign of what's to come later in the day.
Yeah, as we see Joe Rook not giving it up as he wants this win in this heat race number 2 for the KZ Masters. As we head through the cell tower, still no change in position between the top 2. Jason Campbell starting to get himself a little bit of a gap there in third as Lance Lane is not going to give it up easy as we head through the blue corner. Still the 2 leaders, single file as we head down in the scale corner. Evan Batt's going to want that lead. As you can tell, he went deep into the I-70 corner last lap. We'll see what he's able to do as we come around 2 corners before we finish lap number 3, or we're finishing lap number 4 right now. So Joe Rook's got about 3 minutes left on the clock, and he's going to have some time to try and keep Evan Batt behind him. He's not got the pace, but he's going to try anyway and just try and defend and keep Evan Batt held there in second as we go through the Monza. He's got about 2 or 3 kart lengths, so Evan Batt is not able to get by Joe Rook. This is the opposite of what we saw yesterday with Evan Batt driving away from the field. Joe Rook is giving him a run for his money as we head through the red 171 corner. Evan Batt's still not on his bumper, so we're going to have to see if Evan Batt's able to reel him in and try and get a battle for the lead.
Yeah, and obviously Joe Rook has had a good bit of pace compared to the rest of the field this weekend, but just not enough to match up with Batt so far. But we're seeing that maybe change in this heat race, as now we look like we have a little bit of chaos coming out of the Monza, and it looks like that's going to be the number 500 car. I believe that's Hugh Templeman from P14, trying to get a number on the second card as well. And it looks like those 2 have come together through the Monza. That's going to probably put it into their race, or at a minimum put them all the way back at the field. Now as we go back to the lead, you've got Joe Rook still maintaining that little bit of a gap to Evan Batt. Batt has not been able to get all the way up on his bumper since that pass in turn 1. Maybe he overheated the tires a little bit. Who knows? But at the moment now as they come down the straightaway, you're going to see probably about 4 laps to go, including the time and the 2 to go signal. So it's still quite a bit of time for Batt to make his move. But the top 2 are running below 109s at the moment, a 109.000 for Batt, in fact, and that's about half a second clear of the field. They've got 4.5 seconds on track to the rest of the field, and that's Jason Campbell has been able to keep himself in P3 and has a little bit of a gap now to P4 and Lance Lane. As we look on the front 2, you can see Batt is making up time. He's right on the bumper of Ruck coming out of the green corner, but just cannot get himself all the way up there and make a passing opportunity. This might be his best opportunity in the cell tower. He's going to go for it. He's going to get the position. Again, Ruck is able to cross him over, though. He's going to be on the outside coming through the double left. So it looks like Ruck's able to get
giving this one up.
Looks like he's been able to get it again. And now it looks like Batt's really slowed down. I don't know what's going on there. He's got about a 7 kart gap now. It looked like maybe when he grabbed the gear, it was a little bit slow to react there. And now he's got probably half a second to make up again. So Ruck able to defend aggressively through the cell tower corner and through the double lefts, get the position, keep the position, and now it looks like he's got another lap or 2 where he's got a clear track ahead of him, and he's got Batt not really putting much pressure on him from behind.
Yeah, Joe Rook has not given this one up easy as we have about 3 laps to go here as we head through the Monza. Joe Rook has about a 5 kart length gap now as Evan Batt is going to try and reel him back in and try and make a pass on him, but this time hopefully he doesn't get crossed over like he has the last 2 times he's tried passing Joe Rook. Joe Rook is just not giving it up easy, and Joe Rook wants this heat race win as we go through the field here. Jason Campbell still in 3rd place with Lance Lane a little bit behind him, not able to close that gap there for 4th, but Rod Clenard up into the top 5. Super impressive to see from Rod Clenard as he is in a different class, running a different motor there, but still able to run with those other KZ Masters. As we head through the cell tower here, still the 2 leaders, Evan Batt and Joe Rook. Joe Rook still holding back Evan Batt as we go through the scale corner. Evan Batt's right on Joe Rook's bumper, so Evan Batt still has the pace to run with Joe Rook, but Joe Rook is just not giving him the position.
Yeah, I mean, Ruck has been really aggressive in defending. Batt's also maybe been a little bit overambitious at times, but certainly as they come to 2 to go, this is going to be an opportunity for Bat. We're going to see if he's going to be able to make the pass without overcooking it into turn 1. He's not going to go for it, I don't think, coming into the I-70 corner. Ruck is able to get a good exit. It looks like he's got a little bit of space now coming through the Monza. And certainly, I mean, this is a good race from Joe Ruck. Probably doesn't have the same amount of pace as Evan Bat. In fact, the last lap he was 0.3 of a second slower. But yeah, Ruck has been able to just position his kart in the right place to fend off Bat. Looking back down the rest of the field, you've still got Jason Campbell into P3. You've got Lance Lane kind of right on him, it looks like, but just not close enough to make a charge, to make an attack. But obviously the front two have been the storyline in this race. We've seen some battling. Even when Bat really doesn't have to make the battle, he's going to start on pole anyways, unless there's something that comes up in tech or some kind of penalty that we don't know about. But certainly, I mean, this has been an absolute clinic of defensive drive with Joe Ruck. He's looks like he only has one more lap to hold on against Evan Bat and the faster kart, but it looks like it's going to happen for him unless Bat's going to be able to make a move, maybe try something down into I-70, but certainly with the way that Ruck has been able to cross him over, it has been difficult for Bat to get anything going in this battle.
As we come across the line, 1 lap to go here for Joe Ruck as he's got Evan Bat following right in his trails. As we head into the I-70 corner, Bat goes to the inside. Nope, not going to make it happen. Joe Ruck's defending him as we head towards the Monza. Evan Bat is right there, about a half a kart length behind Joe Ruck. Joe Ruck's going to go on the defensive. Not going to make anything happen there for Evan Bat. As we head into the red 171 corner, Joe Ruck knows he's right there. Goes diamond into the corner. Not going to let Evan Bat make a move. As we head down into the green corner, Evan Bat still trailing right behind Joe Ruck. Joe Ruck's trying to make this his win as he got gapped in the first heat race by Evan Bat. Evan Bat trying to make it happen again as he knows he's going to start on pole wherever he finishes here. He just wants to finish as we head through the double lefts. No changes in position for the lead. Still, Joe Ruck holding on to this heat race win. He's had